Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast and another Blight surgery where we look at our members of Blight Lord tier and above the list. We build them on stream, some of the most interesting ones, and we give some feedback and some thoughts. I am a little early tonight. Honestly, I thought I wasn't going to come on tonight because I've just had my nephew's birthday. But I was going to do the stream tomorrow, but now something's come up tomorrow for coaching, so I've had to move it forward. So sorry it's a bit early today. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. It's a shame it's already Sunday. I'm about to go, into another week of work. The big mic should also be working again now, hopefully. So hopefully audio should be a little clearer than last time. Cool. So yeah, hello, welcome. If you do enjoy the content, obviously, quick reminder to leave a like, a comment, or a subscribe. All really helps the channel grow. In this instance, if you would like to have a chance at getting your list reviewed on Blight Surgery as well, make sure you become a member. You can become a Plague member for as little as $2.99 a month. Blight Lord members and above, though, have access to the special surgery where we build your list on stream or at least get a text feedback, which I'm going to get on top of tomorrow to reply to the ones I need to catch up on. And yeah, sorry, don't worry, Bazar, it's fine, mate. Honestly, it's just, it's mainly because I've got something else that's taking precedence later tomorrow night. So it was just a hodgepodge of things coming together. Because it's not just you, I've got about 3 new coaching clients at once, which is quite rare to have 3 all jump on at once. So don't feel bad about it at all, mate. Like I said, I can move things around, I can make room for people. It's not a problem at all. So this just being a bit earlier, that's all. That's all you've caused, this to be an hour earlier. It's really not that big a deal. So, right, let's get into this first one. So the first one we're looking at tonight is by someone called Contagion Cody. Right, cool. How long before you corrupt your nephew? He's only 1, so I'd have to wait a few years. Yeah, I might got a bit of growing to go. So in this one, we're playing Taliban Summoners, so quite interesting. So we're gonna have a Great Unclean one. Now he is supposed to have He is supposed to have a sword. So just bear in mind, this guy has a sword and a flail, which we'll get to in a second. Then we have a Malignant Playcaster. Let's go to the Playcaster. Then we have a double Playcaster. Then we've got Rotigus himself, so the other fat man. Over here. Then we have a Tallyman as well. So Tallyman, where's the Tallyman at? He's always hiding. There he is. Got Tallyman, that's all our characters. Then we're going to have a Rhino over here. Rhino. Then we're going to have 2 squads of Chaos Spawn. So 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. Control-C, Control-V. 2 squads of 2 spawn. 2 drones with the heavy blight launchers. 1, 2, 1, 2. Make it a nice little bit neater. Rhino there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 blight haulers. So quite a lot of demon engines here. 1, 2, 3. 1 squad of 6 Nurglings. Let's get the Nurglings. Oh. Always expect to see some Nurglings in here. So I do like the 6-man. I've already explained many times why I like 6-man over 2 3-mans. Let's go 10 Poxwalkers. 10 Poxwalkers. And then, okay, and then a Night Despoiler with the Gatling cannon. So perfect, we got a guy for that. Okay, so this is quite an interesting one. So let me check how long is chat going. Blight Surgery while the stream says play. I know I need to change that actually to the what you call it. What the hell's happened to the audio? You sound like you were in a bathroom with mad reverb. Well, hopefully that was nothing. Hopefully that was nothing bad. Hopefully it doesn't keep happening. I'm just going to quickly check my settings here. No, stream quality looks good. Okay, cool. So hopefully that was just a little blip. So here we are playing Taliban Summoners. So this is obviously the Nurgle Demons detachment where we can bring alongside some demons. So here we have got a big fat man, a Rotigus. We've got then 6 Nurglings. That's all our demon contingent here. Then we've got another big ally in our Despoiler. We've got 2 fetid bloat drones with the launchers. We've got a Plague Bus, looks like. So we've got 2 casters included inside a Rhino, a Tallyman to sit on home, 1 squad of infiltrators, and 3 little haulers here, and 2 squads of Chaos Spawn. So let me check the enhancements first. We got any enhancements? So enhancement-wise, we are rocking the Tome of Bounteous Blessings, which I believe, if I remember this one right, this is the one where if you pass a battle shock test, I believe you heal. I believe. Give me a second. Thank you, Mr. Orange. We shall do not worry. Let's have a look. There we go. Tome of Bounteous Blessings. So, yes, each time a Plague Legion's unit within 12 inches of the bearer takes a battle shock test, add 1 to it. If it's passed, one model in the unit regains up to D3 lost wounds. If it's a battle line unit, up to D3 destroyed models can be returned to that unit instead. Okay, so, sorry. Oh, dear me. Bit of a sinus problem. So, the only thing I'm thinking of here, we've also got the Entropic Knell, which is also a negative to our opponent's leadership, yeah. In the Battle Shock set, basically, yeah, if you're within 6 inches of the bearer, which is going to be this Great Unclean one here, you have to take a Battle Shock test at -1, even if you're not at full strength. Yes, if you're below starting strength, so yeah. So, what I'm going to say first up, the Great Unclean one here has the sword and the flail. I don't like the flail. The reason I don't like the flail is because it has one tiny range, and the problem is, let's say this is your Great Unclean one, and this is the thing you want to charge, like here. So let's say the enemy unit's like, spread out like a lot of units are, like that, something like that. And you want to make this charge here, so you're looking at 7 charge. Sorry, we'll put you within 7. So you want to use that flail, but you're also, it's only got a tiny range. I think it might even be 6-inch range, the flail, to be honest. I bet it's, I think it's only a 6-inch range. It's either a 6 or a 7-inch range, but I know it's not bloody big. Great Unclean one. Not Greg Unclean one, great. I cannot type on this phone. Please, phone. There we go. Range weapons, yes, a 6-inch range. So let's put us. So let's take 6-inch range. So we need to get a bit closer. Okay, so we're in 6-inch range. We then have currently we're set at a 5-inch charge. Let's swing our flail, and let's say our flail, say these are Marines even, and our flail gets lucky and kills 2 Marines. What's actually going to happen is they're going to do this. And they've just made your 5-inch charge into a 8-inch charge. In fact, a 9-inch charge at this rate. So, yeah, Greg's Unclean one. So, that flail has actually cost you potentially making a charge, which, as we know, can genuinely cost you entire games. So, the flail, I don't like for that exact reason. Not only does it hit worse because you hit on 3s, you have D6 plus 1 attacks, so it's a bit variable, a bit random. But the only benefit you can really get out of it is you can kill your own guy. And it's not a pistol, so if you shoot it in melee, you hit on 4s, which is terrible. So, I would rather just have the extra flat 3 always attacks in close combat at 6-2-2, because then it doesn't mess up your charge, you get to go in and you get to do a bit more damage more consistently, and with a better hit roll because your weapon skill too. So, that's the first thing I'm going to suggest changing here, would be the loadout on the Great Unclean one. I just don't like the Plague Fly. I just do not think it's very worth it. I thought 6-inch range was pretty average. 6-inch range is unfortunately in the world of Warhammer 40,000 where everything is over the top and ridiculousness. Even a 6-inch range is considered pretty pathetic. It's pretty mid. That's what they'd say, mid, as the kids would say. So yeah, one little thing I changed straight up there. Now, the Tome of Bounteous Blessings, which is the Battle Shock resurrecting things and healing things, I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest. So, you do get to heal your Great Unclean ones if they take Battle Shock, which is okay. Like, there's a good chance they're going to pass it. But the problem I've got with it is, I understand you're probably using it here just as a sink. It really does look like a point sink just to take up some spots. But the problem that I have with it is, let me just look at the points of it. So it's 20 points, which is the same as Beckoning Blight. Now, the odds of you being near enough one of these Great Unclean ones, because only these 3 can benefit from these 3 units, the Nurglings and the 2 Unclean ones. Now, the Nurglings, if they do pass it, they will regenerate. I believe that also our battle line, Nurglings are battle line in this detachment, I do believe. Let me just check there's no weird caveat on it. Yeah. So Nurglings in this detachment are basically, they are battle line, aren't they? Sorry, it's very annoying. I have to keep checking this bullshit. Are they not battle line in this? I don't think they are battle line. I think it's just Poxwalk, Plague Bearers and Poxwalk. Plague Bearers and Plague Marines, fucking hell, Aiden. I need to check because obviously it's super confusing when it comes to demons, because demons have their own set of what is battle line and what's not battle line. And obviously, thing you do is a Death Guard, there we go, Strike Force, Taliban Summoners, don't care what I'm calling it, blah, blah, blah. Create Army, all I care about is if we go battle line. No, so they're not. So they're not going to generate. They are not going to regenerate D3 models, because that would be pretty good. Imagine, losing 4 Nurglings, fasting a battle shock, and then regenerating 3 entire bases back because of the battle line. But they're not. So the max they're going to do is heal. So That right there is already pretty niche. Like, it's niche because you need to be near these guys, you need to pass a battle shock test. A great and clean one getting potentially on average 2 wounds back is okay, but Nurglings really doesn't really make a difference. The best use for that is with Plague Bearers, where you get to bring D3 entire models back, because that can have an impact. But for the same points cost, and I know it's just a point sink because you've obviously got some spare points, I would rather take the 12-inch aura of 6-inch deep strike on the off chance that a matchup maybe is like against Tau, and you just have really bad like deployment for these guys, and they're just going to get killed instantly. So instead, you can put them in reserves, and then you can do a turn like 2. You can just Sage around on turn 1, turn 2, launch out a Plaguecaster, and then drop them in 12 inches away within 6 of the enemy. Like, you're probably not going to do it every game. Like, some games you're going to start the Great and Clean ones on the board, but having the option to do that is going to be way more useful than a little bit of tiny bit of healing you get from the tome. So I would much rather take Beckoning Blight on one of these Playcasters for the same cost to have access to make those kind of plays there. So I think that'd be better for you. Now, overall, I'm trying to think, because with this, so basically we've got these are the 3 big things at the back here. You still got some drones with launch, you still got Hoz. The spawn, decent, like there's no real... So the main thing here is, for the spoiler to do most of his work, we really need to get contagion range on our opponent. Which, to be honest, isn't the hardest thing to do. My problem I've got is, contagion in this detachment is quite, not important, it's just good because you get to add the range to it. But the only thing that's going to be contagion range extra is anything that's near Rotagus, the Great and Clean on all these Nurglings, which means these Nurglings are kind of important. Also, we have no sticky. I always like to see a unit of Plague Bearers. If possible, I think the Plague Bearers would do better. So, like, for example, you could, if you're not going to use the Tome, if you're guaranteed to, like, just want to walk these guys and forget the 6-inch Deep Strike, I probably would rather get rid of a Hauler and bring in a 20-man squad, of Plague Bearers, just to give you access to some sticky objectives. Because, like, again, you've still got 2 anti-tank haulers here. Gives you a bit more mission play. Gives you a sticky objective as well, which are really important, just to be able to sticky your home objective. Again, we've said this combo a lot. These guys start on your home objective. They sticky it. They can then walk off. These Nurglings move block turn 1. They die. You pay command points. Deep strike them back in. Deep strike them on your home objective and hold it for the rest of the time. These guys can also just help them spreading contagion, being annoying. They also work well if you do bring along the 6-inch deep strike, because they've got a 5-inch charge from deep strike, because the +1. But again, if you would rather have the output of the Hauler, this seems a bit more inspired by the list that Hank kind of runs on our Discord, where it's all about the big models with the big damage. He runs triple Great and Clean under Spoiler, I believe it is. It might be double, but I don't know if he runs Rotagus, but he doesn't run the 6-inch deep strike at all. He just relies on cheap demon engines flooding the table more. So in that instance, like, the spawn are pretty good. Obviously, they're going to be pushing forward and spreading contagion out here. You're just going to have to be a bit careful about keeping the Spoiler alive more than anything. Trying to think. Already for GT, I'm getting ready for GT. I wanted to lead on the unexpected. It's either this or more Tyrant's Hammer with the Spoiler. So this or Hammer. So Hammer is, like, obviously the easiest part is you can just pick and choose your targets for your Despoiler. You don't have to, like, worry about it's like what it's shooting. But the Despoiler adds this kind of like tufted skew. It's very hard to deal with all 3 of these because the kind of what weapon that wants to kill them, it has to, like, be shared between them. It's very specific. And then you have, like, these haulers doing annoying things and tying things up. The Blight Launcher drones, I'm not sure if I would rather... I know it's going to break my heart here, but I don't know if the Plague Bus really works. So you've got... in fact, I'll show you. You've got a Tallyman for hold home. So Tallyman can hold home. You've got an infiltrating squad here. You've got 2 infiltrators. The Beast and Ogre can push up. So I don't mind the Playcaster and the Plague Bus. I think it's still a good tool to have, but I'm trying to think what else would make it just better overall, because think of the meta one. We've got Eldar to deal with, so I think what's Taliban makes Taliban good is that 6-inch deep strike at the moment. We saw Pierce Conrad do really well with it. Now, obviously, depends on the layout you're playing on as well. Playing on GW, it's a lot more open, so you can get a lot more shooting in. What I would potentially do then is, because the Rotaguses and the Great and Clean ones are going to be pushing up because they're kind of melee models anyway, and the Plague Bus is also playing fairly close range, I would be tempted to potentially drop 1 hauler and pick up another launcher drone. Maybe even drop the enhancement for the heals, because that then is going to give you some more long range firepower. Like, your ability to deal damage up close is pretty good because they got the Great and Clean ones, the spawn can tag stuff, and you've got 2 hauls as well and a Plague Bus. So really, you're looking at things that can sort of like sit back and fire away. Obviously, the Dreadblade can do that really well. But apart of that, at the current moment, he's like the only one that can do that, plus the 2 drones here. So I would rather triple down on the drones. So like this, I would feel instantly better with, because you've got a bit more long-range firepower. You've got a load of strength 10 here. You've still got 2 hulls, which is a great thing to have. All it's cost us is an enhancement that lets us heal a bit. So like I would be okay with that trade, because I mean, you can still get rapid ingots if you want to put these guys in reserves. So it's still good. I think I quite like that a bit more better. Sort of like in terms of doing like actions, we've obviously got a spawn, we've got a rhino that can do it. Tallyman set on home. He's still got some poxwalkers as well, so I do actually not mind this. Obviously, against anything that has massive amounts of pressure, you obviously got a massive 6-man Nurgling screen you can spread out. You've also got poxwalkers that can be thrown away. Also, like these aren't really things that can get rushed down anyway. The Rotogus and the Great Unclaimed One can usually take at least a charge, unless you get very unlucky. And the Dreadblade's really good at punishing those kind of plays anyway. So I think that is like what I would probably go with in terms of like sticking to this idea here. Just make sure that you have enough moving forward things to sort of trigger that extended contagion range. That's what makes it really good. So like the Nurglings don't want to just throw them away for absolute 3. You definitely want to be extending contagion range of like the Chaos Spawn going up so that the Despoiler can do some good damage. But again, if you're running the Plague Bus forward, don't forget you can always obviously drop a Malignant Plaguecaster out. He can be like there, and then, you know, this guy can then give him that extra contagion range. So now he's projecting like all the way out like this range here on like a turn 3, which is really good. So you can still like do a lot of like plays. One thing I do actually quite like though, and I think may actually be pretty good here, which I've seen done, and Pierce was doing it quite a bit as well, is to take... So you would have to lose something, whether that be like a Chaos Spawn or maybe this 3rd drone or something, and what they would... Hello, can I pick it up please? Okay, can't pick up this drone apparently. Can we delete you? Nope. Okay, that drone is just very much staying there forever. Delete, please. People are playing the Lord of Poxes. Where are you at, buddy? Lord of Poxes, where are you at? There you are. And you put the, as talked about before, you put the enhancement on him to give him +2 attacks. So he's 8 attacks at 822 or 832, depending on contagion, which is really good, but he has the extended contagion range. So what you could potentially do here, and again, this matters more if you're running Deshra, not so much here, but even still, like having him in the Rhino as like a missile that can fire out and just delete something that's behind a wall. Because my biggest concern here is what if there's just like 5 guys behind a wall? I don't know if the spawn is strong enough to deal with that. And obviously the Rotogus and the Great Unclean One have to go around the wall. The Knight has to stay back, it can't push forward. The drones are going to be long range and the halls are kind of not great at killing infantry. So you could potentially put him in with Fell Harvester, just as a missile to jump out, go behind the wall, kill 5 models, that's it, job's a good one. Plus then he has the +3 inch contagion range. So if he ever ends up near a Great Unclean One, like if this is turn 2 and he's 6 inches away from this Great Unclean One, this guy on turn 2 has a 12-inch contagion range, which is kind of nutty. Like that's this Great Unclean One is suddenly now like spreading contagion out all the way out to there, like 18 almost. So it's pretty good. The bathroom returns. Why does the bathroom keep returning? What weird reverb are we getting? Shouldn't be any weird reverb, really. I'm just gonna check my settings a second. Device. Why are you doing that? That's why. Found out why. It was trying to pick up both the bloody webcam mic and the actual big mic, so it's probably having a little bit of feedback issue. So that should be resolved now. I've killed the little mic. So yeah, that is an option there as well. I'm just going to... Okay, so yeah, there's a few ways you can take it. So it could be that. It's more than likely what I think is probably going to be best for you would be that 3rd launcher drone. I think that's pretty solid. You've got a nice still scoring core. I think if you were to change anything outside of that, I think you'd probably like look at getting rid of this here. And that's what? That's 205 points back. Then you could go like 2 normal drones that just kind of lean into like a really big hull spam. It's just to abuse like the toughness aspect of this. So then you've got all hulls. Like, oh, it's almost like playing Plague Storm, just with a bit of extra demonic allies scoring units. I think that could be a decent option, but again, Plague Bus is good. It just depends where you want those points here, and then obviously you'll be floating a few points on the what you call it at this point. So like, again, so technically you would also have this 3rd hauler as well. So you'd have this 3rd hauler, 2 extra bloat drones. That goes away potentially. So again, it's your choice. You can do something like this, or you can get rid of that, bring that in. I would lean on the hull aspect for this kind of Taliban list. I think it works better. If you're not going to go with like the whole 6-inch deep strike plays with like Death Shroud and with the Blackening Blight, it's better to lean into the strength of the hulls like this and have a few scoring pieces around it, because that just kind of makes a better skew list in general. So yeah. That's going to be my opinion on that one, Mr. Contagion Cody. Hope that is helpful. And yeah, we'll move on to the next one. So, and again, if anyone's in chat and specifically wants theirs looking at, we can obviously do that. Just let me know. I'm just very quickly going to just grab a drink of water every 1 second. I left it in the other room. I'm back. There we go. Sorry about that. I just left me drink in the other room. Okay, so next up, we're going to be looking at... here we go. We're going to go Omaha Bin Laden. I'm not going to say that. That's going to get me in big trouble. We're not going to say your name. I cannot say that name. That is Bin Laden, we'll call him. So it's Bin Laden. As in like lagging on the internet, you know, connection issues. So if we're doing that, so we're going to be playing a car park skew list from our Tyrant's Hammer, getting ready for an RTT. So let's build this list then. So once again, we have the double playcaster. So grab that, double playcaster. Here we go. Double playcaster. We have a Typhus as well. So Typhus coming in as well. And we got a Lord of Virulence with Tendril Emissions. There he is. Still not sure if I like Tendril Emissions. I know people like it, but I don't know. I'm a bit iffy with that one. Teleman. Good old Benjamin. Yeah, Benjamin. There you go, Benjamin Laggins. Yeah, we'll go Benjamin Laggins. That's a great way to put it. Well done, Necros. Then we've got 3 Death Shroud Terminators. We need 3 of our Scythe boys. So we'll grab them. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 3 Scythe boys. We have 10 more Poxwalkers. Let's steal them from the previous list. Here. Then we're also going to have 1, 2 Plague Spitter drones. So we need this one here. Drone with spitters. So 2 Spitter drones. 1, 2. Then we have another 3 HBL drones. So these 3 up here. Come on down. And then we've got 3 Mythic Blight Haulers. You two, come on down. There we go. So 9 hulls. Nice. We like that. Then we have 1, 2 Plague Burst Crawlers. So 1, 2, Unos, Dos. And then we have the Chaos Rhino for the Playcasters. So this is kind of what I'm expecting to sort of see a lot of these lists going to look like a bit. So Typhus is going to go in there. Lord of Virulence and the Tallyman. Spitter Drone. Those guys there. So what I will say straight up, I do worry a little bit about how this is going to go against heavy aggro armies, because we've only got our single squad of Poxwalkers as a screen, and that can't spread across the entire map. So you could be at risk of getting ran down pretty quickly. Now, you do have the ability to punish a little bit with a Plague Boss. You got some drones with spitters that can't be locked up, but like these drones can't risk getting locked up. So just be a little careful about potentially getting locked up. But he says the idea is Typhus joins the Death Shroud, Poxwalker screen fast enemy units, which they will do. I would ideally like to see maybe 2 of those Poxwalker units though. And the Plague Bus and the Spitters are chaff cleaners, and the rest bonks the enemy, as Nurgle said. I am debating changing entry cannons on a single PVC for Spitters so I can deter any deep strikes in my home, and that could free Poxwalkers possibly. Also, Fleshman was tempting for more melee threat, but Assault Strat is OP on Spitters. So you could potentially change a Spitters and an entry cannon. I don't think it's going to make too much difference overall. Yes, it would allow your PVC to sort of defend its home objective more effectively on its own, but again, entry cannons are also good. So if we look at this, we have a really good amount of hulls. Now, 2 PVCs is sort of like the compromise we have to make at the moment. Like 3 is just not really happening. Now, that being said, we still have a Death Shroud Terminator squad. I like the inclusion of Typhus. If you tight on points, Typhus is still an excellent include into this unit. Yes, they don't get Lance and Sustained, which kind of sucks, but Typhus does still bring along 6 AP strength 9, flat 3 damage attacks, which is really good. And he also has the ability to do D6 mortal wounds, so potentially just some unignorable mortal wounds to certain units, which is just really good to have as well at certain points. He's also a bit more tougher to kill due to his -1 to hit for the squad in close combat, which is quite nice. So if you're ever struggling for points, it's not the worst include in the world. So an interesting one here is, so the plague bus itself is again, it's 205 points. So what you need to understand is, when you were saying before the really good at clearing chaff, the plague bus is not a chaff clearer. It's not meant to clear chaff. It really doesn't want to, because it's 205 points. This is, honestly, like in terms of points, this is a plague bus crawler. This needs to be treated like a plague bus crawler. You want to get good value out of that thing. So like, this is the kind of unit that like I'm happy to spend a CP, like 2 CP to drive through a wall, and then also like give it an assault if I need to. But again, they bend around, you can just drive through a wall, they can both hop out, and then you can shoot with a rhino, get full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound, and then spray with these guys. So this thing is honestly not really a trading piece, it's much more of a damage dealing tank, and a very high damaging one, especially into infantry models. So if you're worried about that kind of thing, now I would, if potentially as well, you could free up, again, if you wanted more early trading sort of screening, I would swap out a hauler for another normal bloat drone. The reason for this being that if you take entry cannons on here, you then have still got really good anti-tank capabilities, because you've still got drones like that. You've still got 3 of the HBL drones. You've still got 2 playable scrolls with the entry cannons. So, and then you start mortal wounds here, and that's going to give you a lot more like mid-board playability with these spitters. And because you were debating whether you want the spitters or the mowers, you could potentially go 1 mower. So, oh, hello. And potentially bring along a mower. So you could go like 1 mower, 2 spitters like that. And that just gives you a bit more forward play, because you've got all like a lot of points in plague burst crawlers. That makes me want to have more things to play upfield with, which I think like the normal spitter drones are fantastic at. The PvC obviously indirect is really good here. Now you obviously have to ask yourself the question, like, play the plague bus. Like if the plague bus isn't like working out, like your plague bus is literally like almost like getting you another PvC. Now I'm not saying I'd like a good triple PvC. They're so goddamn expensive. It's kind of unreal how expensive this tank is, but like that is also like a viable list to a degree. Only thing I'm wishing you had more was just a bit more screening, because the screening's making me feel a little uneasy, because I really just know there's a lot of speed in the game at the moment, a lot of armies' abilities who can just get first turn and just come and annihilate you. And like, don't wrong, 10 Poxwalkers can screen a fair bit, but I always feel more comfortable with 2. It often when we come to hammer lists, we're often looking at seeing like maybe even 3 of these, because we need those cheap chaff units, because the rest of our army is tanks. What you could argue here potentially is, like, you could potentially even drop Typhus in for a lot of runs into there. That would free up 100 points, plus the 30, whatever, 10 is these days. And, like, that there, straight up, is, like, 2 more squads of Poxwalkers. Like, that is an option. Like, obviously, you lose access to the loan up, which kind of sucks, and the real ones to wound. But you also do pick up a bunch more screens here. So, like, that is also an option that you could potentially go with. Here, obviously, then you can, like, if you want to, like, keep that, because you've lost some melee output there, you could do something like that. Because again, the Death Shroud, they're more there to threaten like the chance that they can come in, something like that. But again, this is where we look at like the Plague Bus again. Like we say, for the 200 points this Plague Bus is, like, would this not just be better as being allowing us to keep that, and then maybe like fit in another engine like that, and then we still also get our Poxwalkers in here. Like, because again, you drop this, you bring in 100 points back in for this guy, and then you get maybe just, again, you'd have to lose the enhancement a little bit, which is kind of sucks, but you could get some more screens in at least. I recommend a lot of just, he does push it a lot better. I don't mind a lot of runs. I just don't know if I like him with the enhancement, because the enhancement ties him to these things, and it also ties them to him. Like if he rolls a bad advance and goes 6 inches, like this drone now can't like go out and like shoot in advance. The LOV is not 120 though anymore. The problem is he's like 135. Like they put the points on tendril submissions, which is pretty like expensive now. Like it's a lot of points for a model. And again, if the model can't see anything because he's slow himself, like I don't know. I've never really liked tendril submissions. I know it's obviously pretty good. I've just always been a bit thingy with it, just because the points cost on it. It is 30 points now, so it's 130 points for that guy. So, like, put this back here a second. Let me just put this back. Yeah, 130. Which makes me feel a bit, I don't know. It always makes me feel a bit uneasy, that one. So, I think. So, yeah, it was Trill Hall, yeah. So, like, this is the original list here. Now we've got here. So, like, it's not bad. Sorry, we got these. Again, if we had these Poxwalkers, I'd feel a lot better. We don't have the Poxwalkers. This is all we have in terms of screens. You could make an argument, if you're going to have a PBC holding home, like, you could make an argument, like, you don't need the Tallyman. But again, like, what are you going to do then? You're going to have, like, 50 points floating. Like, again, you're not bang on the money. I imagine you bang on the money here. You do have Biomore Blight. So we do have 10 points floating on this Malignant Plague Coster here. So that would allow you to get 60 points. So unless the list is back, if the list is bang on 2k, if the list was 1995, you could drop Biomore Blight, drop the Tallyman, and get a second unit of Poxwalkers. Because if one Plague Bus Squad is going to sit on home anyway, you don't really Tallyman. And Tallyman in this detachment isn't great. Like, the what you call it, the strats aren't amazing. Like, they're decent, but you're not building the entire list around them. So if this list is 1995, like, that's an option where you can drop the Tallyman, drop the Biomore Blight, and then you get 5 spare points. That's 65. So then you bring in this squad here. That gives you two screen units, which feels a bit better than before, and keeps all the rest of the core of the list, which is quite nice. So you can have your Tendril Submissions, you've got your Deep Strike squad here. You then also got all your engines around it. So I just feel like we need to just get another unit of a screen in here, because I'm a bit woozy on taking it without the screen. Now, again, if you're in a meta though where you're not rush, yeah, if you're not against World Eaters or Blood Angels, then you'll be okay. But if you are against them, they're just going to rush you down. It's really important to have these at least the 2 Poxwalkers. These drones don't care about being charged too much. And again, if you can just throw them out and get charged into at least important units, that's okay. But you just got to be really careful. Like, you can punish really hard with a Plague Bus. You can punish really hard. But I would like to see 2 screen, like Emperor's Children, World Eaters, Blood Angels. There's a lot of things that are just going to be able to run you down pretty easily with just the 1 screen, and start tagging up your tanks and things like that. So that is my only concern. So I would say if you are 1995, that's probably like what I would do. I need to start asking people to put total points in the list, because I know it sounds weird, but like sometimes the 5 points are really important. But for your question, which was you're debating swapping the entry cannons on a single PVC for spitters, I would potentially, if you do that, so if you do the change, keep it as it is. If you keep double entry cannon, I would be tempted to just do something like that and make that one little swap there. Or I mean, the other choice would be to like potentially. PBCs just take up so many you have 3 tanks back here that all cost 210 points each, which is so brutal. So brutal. Like, that PBC nerf really hurt. You could drop like a hauler and pick up like another unit of like. So what I would do actually, I would drop a hauler, I'd drop the Tallyman, and I would probably use those points to pick up these 2 here. Use the extra 20 points to upgrade Typhus to a lot of Contagion. I think that's probably what I'd do. I think that might be the better play there. So I would go double entropy. Or double entropy cannon. We drop a hauler that gives 100 points back. We drop a Tallyman that gives us 50 points. That gives us 150 points. We spend 130 to pick up 2 more units to 10 screens. So we've got 2 more units here. We use the last 20 points to upgrade Typhus to a lot of Contagion. So in this example, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We still have 10 tanks. We have a much scarier melee output squad now, because a lot of Contagion gives them Lance and Sustain. So this is a lot scarier, this squad. Also stands back up when he dies, which is, again, really good to have. You've still got this. That's probably, I think, would be a much more balanced approach for the sake of a Demon Engine. For the sake of a single Demon Engine and a Tallyman, again, the CP really doesn't matter, especially if you have PVC sat on your home objective, or at least near it. I would much rather have something like this with the triple screening units that can score, block things out. You've still got a 6-inch Deep Strike squad, and you've still got quite a lot of engines. Like, outside of this, you're going to have to start looking at maybe dropping one of the big engines or the Plague Bus. I love Plague Bus, but the Plague Bus struggles when it's in a list with 2 other tanks that are costing 210 points and a Death Shroud unit that's costing 260/280 points. Like, these 4 alone. Oh, give me a second. Whoa. So we talked in the hammer list about the strength of being able to take 9 demon engines for like less than half your points, but then these models here alone are half your list. Like, and that like kind of takes the strength away a little bit. Now the PBCs do a lot of work from indirect, so I don't mind them so much. The Plague Bus has to be played well, but please understand it is not a chaff trading unit. It really isn't. It's definitely more like to clear chaff in this list. You've got your Plague Space and your indirect. Your indirect is to clear chaff. You mark it with your -1 save, and you fire it over the indirect and kill it. And then the others can be bullied by the spitters. Once they start to commit real units, then you can shoot it to death with the rest of your list, like the Plague Bus and stuff, and then you can answer any threats with this. So I think this is probably where I'm going to end this list on. That's probably the list I would change it to for this, again, sake of a single Blight Hauler, to be able to pick, and a Tallyman, to be able to pick up double screens, and then also be able to have our Lord of Contagion leading this squad rather than a Typhus. Because Typhus is good, I like Typhus, but if I ever had 20 points spare, and I want this unit to be as hard-hitting as possible, like, giving the squad sustaining lance is just no joke, just like night and day better than Typhus. Typhus is good. I love Mortal Wounds for free. It's great. I love flat damage 3-6 attacks. Great. But it's nothing compared to lance. Give it a go. Let us know how you find it and if you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, let us know all the good stuff. I want to know how you get on. I've got to see this list up here as well. Let me just make this again. So do it. I'm going to try and keep the list up here actually, so people can sort of like see what was going on. I think it was something like this. I can't even remember. That there. Something like that, I think it was. I think it was something like that. So there's 2 lists there. So next up, let's have a look. So let me just tick that off as well. So Benjamin Laggin. Thank you for the list. Appreciate it. So next up, let's have a look at this one. So is it going to be this one here? I just need to check names because I can't obviously repeat people. We've got to keep it nice and fair. Don't think we've done this fella in a long while. Yeah, we could do this one. Okay, cool. So this one is going to be from JP. Now JP has put Taliban. We've got Typhus in Mr. Flyblown host. We're going to have a Lord of Contagion over here with the Insectile Murmuration. So this is going to give his entire squad reroll 1s to wound if the enemy target is in contagion. So in melee, that's going to pretty much be always. Then we get a Lord of Virulence with the Droning Chorus, which is the one that gives his entire squad Assault keyword. Very, very good. Very nice. My God, what have I done? Every single list has a Plague Bus in it. What have I done? I have committed crimes. Okay, we've got a Plague Bus. Then we have Dual Tallyman. And that's quite interesting in Flyblown. Like, Flyblown does have good strats, though. Cannot deny Flyblown does have good stratagems. So double that, and then we've got 2 5-man Plague Marines. Let's go grab them. No specific loadout on here. So, again, that's maybe something we can just cover. Let's grab 5 Marines for now. We've just done yours, mate. We've just done yours. Mashiach. That was this one here, mate. We've just literally covered that one. So if you go back a little bit on the stream, that is the name I could not say. Yeah, we've just covered yours. We've called you Benjamin Laggin. Okay, so that we've just covered yours, mate. We have just covered yours, Benjamin Laggin. So then we've got okay, this is a maneuver. This is the good maneuver. Did I delete them before? Oh, I'm an idiot. Have I deleted them? Oh, I'm a monk. Alright, it's fine. We got some here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hell yeah. So we're going to have 5 Blight Lord Terminators here. Bring them over. And then these guys are going to duplicate into a 10-man squad. So we've got 10-man squad of Blight Lord Terminators. And they're going to duplicate into 20 Blight Lord Terminators. That is a lot of Terminators. So we've got 20 Blight Lord Terminators. Then we've got 2 squads of 10 Poxwalkers. Let's go grab those guys here. You guys here. Alright. Oh, we need one more actually. There we go. 2 squads of 10 Poxwalkers. Drop them there, 2 squads of 10 Poxwalkers. And then we've got a single unit of 2 Chaos Spawn. You guys over here. Grab them. There we go. It's Chaos Spawn. 2 Pathetic Blight Haulers. Bam, bam. For the access to the stratagem. And the Chaos Rhino. Okay. This is really an interesting one. So let me just line up the characters. So it says, in general, I'm really happy with this list. The 20 Blight Lords brawl the center as a stat check, while the Playcasters and Marines hold my natural. You run them individually and scout them into the Rhino. It's just a really sticky trade unit that can even force a lot of commitments. or drop something at natural that support the BLs with contagion range. The Taliban provide the fuel for all of the strats. Typhus lets me do behind enemy lines, etc. Recently at 3-0 with it. Nice, excellent work, mate. Everything has its place except one unit. The thing I'm happy with is the spawn. Okay. They always seem to do nothing and get caught with their asses out from an angle, so they don't benefit from strats either. Considering two options. One, replace one with a solo Lord of Poxes, fighter, stealth, scout, access to easy to hide strats, contagion, buff range for Blight Lords but slower. Two, replace spawn with zombies and change a playcaster to a blight spawn. This seems like the obvious play as an anti-melee tech, but the DV plus 6 versus D6 is a real damage consistency trade-off, and the whole point of the Rhino is to operate within the Blight Lords, so I can see trade-offs of both. Third, replace the spawn with a foul blight spawn, but you're still using a trade piece or a tech piece. What would you do? Right, okay. So the spawn is the one thing we like, so I'm going to assume it's something like this. A Typhus solo. Double Tallyman's probably some holding home tech. We got for the extra CP. It's going to be something like this. So, right, let's do this. Okay. So, if this is the thing over here that we are concerned about the most, so let's think about what we have. We have 2 5-mans, Plague Marines. We've got a Rhino here with the Plague Bus inside it, and we have the the Blight Lord Terminators as your core brick here. Now, Typhus looks to be solo with deep striking, which is pretty good. We've got 2 sort of like screen pieces here. It's a bit of a skew list with the amount of like toughness toughness 7, 3 wounds, 2 10-man squads. They're going to be -1 to be hit and potentially -1 to be wounded if they're just followed right by some Blight Halls, which is pretty good. So the spawn here. So the reason the spawn feel a bit weird here, the spawn don't really do anything because the reason what makes spawn so good is they're your early skirmishers. They have scout, they get there early, they got a nice toughness. They also then, if you're in like VV or something, they're really good at spreading contagion. In this list, contagion doesn't really matter because you're looking to brawl. Like all these guys, I imagine, are starting on the board to make the most out of the scout. Maybe we deep strike one, but they're not death shroud, so they don't rely on contagion to be able to deep strike in. Not only that, they scout. So these are already doing the job that's making these chaos spawn kind of redundant. And they're also T7, same as the spawn, but they also have 4 pin vulnerable. So the spawn just don't really have a role here. They're not looking to spread contagion because you don't even have many shooting units to make the most out of it at range. You don't have any 6-inch deep strikes that they're reliant on. They just don't really do anything that the rest of the list isn't already doing itself. So for me, if we cut these guys out, so now it depends what you want to do here because you could do this in 2 different ways. So if we were to, for example, grab a Lord of Poxes, where is he? Oh, he's over here. Ooh, did I stole him before? There he is. Wait, did I delete it? There he is. So if we were to put a Lord of Poxes in here, right. So this guy joins one of these squads here. So one of these squads then becomes quite punchy. So you also have like a bit of a tech piece here with the Lone Op. So if you wanted to use this thing to hold you natural, Lone Op's obviously going to help that out a bit. It means you're not going to get shot by things like indirect. Makes it more durable against that kind of stuff. Yeah, it has extra contagion range, but again, we've talked about it's not a big deal here. But what he does have is his 6 attacks as well. Now, there is something to be said about just being able to punch things down. So what you could do is, if this Rhino wanted to be sort of change roles a little bit, and be less about protecting your home objective, and instead be more about pushing your opponent's one, then this could be really good because in this Rhino now, you have a 5-man squad to initially throw out or go and charge a point, trade it, kill whatever's on it, weak things, just kill them and get them gone. Then your opponent comes out to kill your Plague Marines, again, obviously because they are stealth. They're not the easiest thing to kill in the world, so they probably send in some decent melee to kill them, and then you can obviously answer with this squad, which can then go and kill their squad. It sort of like has a bit of a trading potential there. Again, especially if you load it up with just melee weapons, you got like double heavy plague weapon, double bubonic weapon, and a power fist, and then you got the Lord. Hits really, really hard. Now, there's not super loads you can give him in terms of enhancements. Plague Veil's obviously kind of pointless. Rejuvenating Swarm, not great. Like the Rejuvenating Swarm doesn't really do anything because he'd have to basically live and it would heal him to full, but it's not like something like this guy who can die, stand back up and heal to full. But if you had like 10 points spare, it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, in terms of like stratagems with it here, what can this squad here do? They can actually do the forcing a battle shock, actually, which, again, if you were to put in, again, I don't really want to do it, you could potentially put in an icon and just have them charge in and be like, hey, take a battle shock at -2. Really good little... Now, that would be, again, a bit of a techie piece as well. Like, I would potentially, again, if you run this as an aggro piece, I would potentially be looking at something like that for matchups where... So, with these two squads, I would potentially sack a gun or a melee weapon. And again, if you've got... The Plague Marines are not... They are 10-mans. They're 5-mans. 2 5-mans. The 2 5-mans here, and that's a lot of boxes. What I would do is potentially sack an icon in one of the squads, just one. And I would, if you ever run into an army that has like on like okay, let's think like berserkers or like fight on death things, you have access to something that could, on a turn where these guys like are going for a charge. So say these guys are going in for a charge onto something on the middle, and maybe they've got access to -1 damage, which is really brutal. So what he's doing is he's having them, he can scout them. So he said he's basically having them next to the rhino and they're scouting. And if they go first, they just go on to the point naturally. If they don't, then go on there. So yeah, if you bring a lot of poxes, then you would obviously have to have someone. Again, that a lot of poxes could then potentially walk on and just hold your objectives. You could deploy normally with the scout. If you're having it like... So if this was like, again, if you were being aggressive with it, you could have this squad inside with the plague casters. Obviously, this thing drives up. These guys scout up behind it. First turn, or like to the side if they're getting thingy. The next turn, like these guys like disembark, go charge something. These guys move, advance, and embark in it, ready for the next turn. It's just a bit of a taxi shuffle, but it's possible to do. It is obviously a bit harder than if you were just like not running the casters here. But it is something you can do. But back to the point. If you had 10 guys and they had -1 damage, like berserkers have -1 damage, like 20 berserkers with -1 damage. Annoying, like that becomes genuinely hard for this squad to deal with now. But if you have a single guy with an icon bearer on it, a single one of these 5-man, and again, if this rhino's already kind of pulling utility duty because it's bare bones 5-man marines with not much ways to buff them in Flyblown, a single icon in here could then charge in, say, hey, nauseating paroxysms, take a test at -2 now because you've got the icon. And the strat says -1, so they'd have to take a leadership test, needing an 8 or higher. And if they fail it, now they can't -1 damage. And now you're going to have a lot more easier use of them with these guys here. So there is an option for that. And again, if you're going to do that, I might even be tempted to do it on the Lord of Poxy's squad, potentially, because he brings the 6 attacks. So you could sacrifice a single Bebotic weapon in here to bring along an icon, because again, you're making up for the loss of his melee is being made up for the Lord of Poxy's potentially being in the squad there. So that is an option of something you could do for a bit of tech piece. And it adds your ability to sort of play the game. So you have this bit more techie, a bit more answers to certain armies. You have that more punchy melee marine squad, but at the same time, if you're in a matchup where they have some indirect, this guy can now just sit on your home objective, not home objective, the other objective, and just be like, cool, I'm just going to hold this with loan up all game. That's like totally fine by me. Nothing wrong with that. So the Lord of Poxy does give you a bit of tech plays in Flyblown host, which I do like. And again, because he can obviously start on the board, because loan up, he can get scout, he can go scout 5 and move 5 in advance. So he moves 10 inches turn 1 realistically, which is pretty good. Up to 16 inches. So his chance there is going to make it to the objective that he wants to make it to. Obviously, just be careful of very, very fast armies. So I wouldn't go with the other options you said, which is like foul blight spawn and stuff, because the foul blight spawn is, it's a weird one. Where is he? There he is. So the foul blight spawn, he's got a good weapon, but the problem is he's D6 attacks against the D6 plus 3 here. Oh, Bazaros, thank you so much for the 5 gig memberships, mate. You really had to do that. I really appreciate it, though, buddy. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Helps keep the channel going. Thank you so much, mate. So the reason I like the playcasters is the D6 plus 3 shots makes them more reliable, because even a 1, you're getting 4 shots. Sometimes it happens, man. Sometimes it happens. That's quite funny. So sometimes when you roll a 1 on this guy, you get a 1 shot and does nothing. So realistically, his damage reliability is nowhere near as good as these. Now, what makes him good is obviously having access to fight first. But again, I don't know how important that is here, because these guys, like, again, he can't join these squads, so he can't get these guys to fight first. What he can do is he can prevent them getting advanced and charged on, etc., or at least a bit more. But But why? That's the problem. Who is ideally looking to try and charge into 20 Blight Lord Terminators? And if they are looking to charge 20 Blight Lord Terminators, like, if it's a unit that can genuinely kill this, one, what the fuck is that unit? That's horrifying. But two, you've still got some screen units here. So I don't like what he is required to do. I don't think he gives enough tech to this army that already kind of, again, it's the nature of the army needs to be in the middle of the board brawling. If it's going to get charged, it's going to get charged. Like, this guy's not going to stop that. Like, you can't sit behind a wall with this one. You kind of just got to be taking fights. Like, you can obviously sit behind a wall and not be stupid and get yourself killed, but at a certain point, you have to just push forward and stat check your opponent with -1 to hit, -1 to wound from ranged. So I don't think this guy's really going to help you, because if someone wants to be able to charge a 5-inch moving Blight Lord Terminator, they're probably going to be able to charge it, regardless of being able to advance and charge or not. So, like, the tech he brings compared to the tech the Lord of Poxes can potentially bring in here, I think I would go with Lord of Poxes personally. Now, is there any other option realistically here? You'd have to, you could drop the Chaos Spawn, drop one of the enhancements like Insectile Murmuration. Like, real ones to hit is good, but it's not like game breaking, but it is pretty good, so I wouldn't really be looking to drop it. But you could technically drop that. Bring in like a third hauler. Like, that's something you could potentially do. And obviously you don't get a lot of Poxes then. Like, that's not too bad. Like, that's a possibility of something you could do. But I feel like the list's been working. The only thing that feels out of place is these guys, because they're not really doing anything. Depends. Are they? My question would be: are they doing something by doing nothing? Because if they're going up, they're taking firepower for you for a turn, they're dying for it. They're still technically doing something. But if they really feel like they're not even doing that for you, then you could drop them and bring the Lord of Poxes pretty easily. Because that little bit of tech there, I'm quite happy with. Now, it does open up Assassination as an option against you, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 characters? No, 8 characters. But you don't really give up anything else. Like, nothing else here. Like, what are they going to take with it? They're going to take an action thing. And again, if you're standing on all objective, all this goober stuff here, they're really going to be hard to, like, sort of get that scored. So just be aware, it does open you up to Assassination a little bit, though, because you're putting another character in. But to be honest with you, 7 to 8 characters is not going to make a difference if they take Assassination or not. They're either going to know they can get to the Taliban and take it, or they're not going to take it. So I wouldn't be too worried about it, but I feel like that would probably be a better play overall. And just, again, I would consider that Icon of Despair just for that little bit of tricky play, because it can get over one of the weaknesses what the list has, which is all this damage to melee with not highest strength. Obviously, you can shoot in combat as attachment, so the shooting is really where the power is. But again, it's just an extra tool. Like, again, if there's 20 Marines you've got to chop through, being able to make sure they're not half damaging you in one of the half of the damage phases in the game is really important. So I like that as a tech piece. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go for this Flyblown host one here. I think that's a nice sort of like place for it to be. And I'm glad that you're doing well with this list. To hit 3-0 is really, really inspiring and really cool to see people just trying out fresh new things and still being able to do really well with lesser known attachments. There you go. Got our 3 sort of things that we've looked at tonight. Looking pretty now, isn't it? I love this. I love this little TTS thing. It's really cool to be able to like just look at people's lists like this. Duncan Nell, thank you so much for becoming a Plague mate, and welcome to the DRP community. Thank you so much. Again, if you have just become a Plague member, or you have been gifted one by amazing people like Bazarus, please go to our YouTube channel homepage, click on the See Perks button that you'll see there. There'll be a link to get yourself in the Discord. Once you are inside the Discord, go to your Discord settings, connections, and link your YouTube and your Discord together, and that will basically connect and unlock the full server for your perks. So thank you so much, mate, for the support, and thank you. Love this community so much. Oh, thank you. I think we have a fantastic community at DRP, so I'm super proud of it, and it's not because of me. It's far much more because of the amazing people like yourself who make the community engaging daily and having a good time. So thank you so much for that. So right, so we've only got a couple minutes left for tonight's show. I've got to be a bit strict because I've got to do coaching things tonight as well. So I can't have like an extra 15 minutes like I usually would do. So apologies for that. But what I will say is, obviously we're getting quite a few more new lists in. Oh hell yeah, Necros! Played by Aiden, played my first 2K with real plastic. That's awesome, Necros. I hope you had a fun time, mate. Honestly, I hope you had a really good time with that one. Hereticals, I'll get to Turtle Span soon. So, what did you play, mate? What did you play against as well? And that's awesome. It's always I always prefer playing with my real plastic. It just, I don't know, something about it just feels different to me. It's so much fun. I'm in desperate need for inspiration with deck. Well, that's good. That is good, Heretical Pattern, because I think on Tuesday what I'm intending to do, there has been some lists recently that have been doing not winning events, but they've been going to they've been going like 4-1 or getting like, top 5 place, and these are big events, like 40 players events are getting top 5 finishes. Pierce Condren, who's Ep40 in Discord, did a really cool with a really unique Taliban list. We've also got Derek Capture from Dirtbags has been taken Taliban to Warhammer World Championships, which I'm really interested to see what he's taking. So there's going to be a lot of interesting. I'm on Shamble at the moment, so there's a lot of different kind of lists that are kind of coming out of the woodworks, because it's kind of, as we've been, if we're saying, I am selling my plastic. Oh no, why are you selling your plastic? I had a good time, played the first time T-Sons player. Oh, that's that. Why? How come you having to sell your plastic, mate? That's sad to hear. But yeah, the reason people are sort of doing this, okay, I get, I get your neck. Okay, smart. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm leaning towards Cockatoo Man. Yeah, so Death Guard good stuff at the moment, I genuinely think, and the reason that Death Guard's been struggling, I think Death Guard good stuff has been figured out. I think, and not just by us. I think 1, we figured it out, but 2, our opponents figured it out. And in the current game, it's just not cutting it. It just doesn't work. It's just not. It's not cheeky enough. It doesn't play something weird enough. It's trying to play honest Warhammer with now not undercosted units that deal a lot of damage but don't have much utility outside of that. No speed and stuff like that. So it's just not working. So people are making these crazy lists now. Taliban is especially one of them, because Taliban can bring another layer of movement shenanigans with 6-inch deep strike for demons and contagion manipulation. Again, we're going to cover Pierce's list because I really want to talk about it. But he was basically managing to deep strike on his opponent's home objective turn 2 by very cheeky combinations of models like the Lord of Poxies combined with the extended contagion range to get a turn 2 12-inch contagion range, which is really, really cool to think about. And then it's giving it +2 attacks. There's things like just a goddamn missile launches towards your opponent's home objective, and then Death Shroud appear behind him. So it's a really cool way to sort of play. So we're going to look at some of these different approaches, because now, basically, we're at a point where we're in a bad position. We're not doing great. Like, I mean, Art of War, love them or hate them, whatever you want. They put us in C tier. They were debating putting us in D tier as an army. And the funny thing is, they were saying, last time before the slate, I don't think the points nerf's going to be enough. You need to nerf the data sleets. And I was sat here saying, look, guys, points nerfs will be enough. Death Guard outside of undercosted units, just do a bunch of damage and move around the board and shoot things. That is it. We have no shenanigans still. Very little past 6-inch deep strike, and people have learned to play against it. And lo and behold, look what's happened. We've been nerfed, points have dropped, and now we're sort of in this position where we're sort of struggling a bit. We're not like struggling in terms of like, oh, we can't win a game. We're not like back to index launch, but it's not the easiest out there at the moment. We definitely have to start trying something new. It's why I'm on this Shamble Rock thing at the moment. Someone in the Discord played it against World Eaters and absolutely smashed him. So he's like, what horror is this list? So again, get out there and get expiring, and it's our job to help you sort of be inspired to try out some of these new things. So tune in on Tuesday when we'll go through some of these new lists that are sort of like the bigger names or like well-known players that are starting to take and experiment with, because challenge and what's they say, competition breeds innovation. And it's very true. And that's what we're here to do. So keep trying until we find something that works. So yeah. Despardian. I'm going to name drop myself for next stream. It's the Shamble list from a week ago. Yeah, no worries. That's Eladan, I believe, in the Discord, isn't it? Despardian. So we can cover that one. I believe it is. Or are you actually Despardian? I think it is. Let me have a look. I believe it is. Is it that one? Let me see if I can find it. Unless I'm wrong. I believe it's this. Is it this one? No, that's not. That's a Hammer one. Is it in the Plague Surgery one then, that mate? If it's in the thingy. It's in there. Right, okay. I think it might be in here. I will find it discarding, do not worry. Just tag me in it, actually. Make my life a bit easier. You can tag me straight in it, and I'll cover it first next stream. So I've got to cover you. I've got to cover Carl's. Carl escaped me, so I feel really bad about that. So Carl, I will cover you as well. So I'll make a note now, and I'll make sure we cover them first on the next stream. So for now, though, I do have to vanish. I've got to go and make a coaching call to someone because they need coaching. I need to get refresh from my drink because my throat is weirdly killing me today, and I don't know why. But yes, we will be back with more innovative sort of ideas. So keep posting your list in the chat, and yeah, we will make sure we get some more. I'll try and get through more than 3 next time. I had quite a bit to talk about on these 3 here because sometimes they're quite interesting, these lists. But I will reply to quite a more in text tomorrow as well, whilst I've got a bit of downtime in my paid for work. You know, my actual job. When there's a bit of downtime, I like to, you know, tippy type away and try and get some messages done. So yeah, for now though, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. I hope you all have a good time. Enjoy the rest, the very little bit that I have our weekends left. The very few hours that remain before the toll of the bell of work returns for us all. But for now, have a nice evening. I will catch you all on the next episode of the Swift and Realistic podcast. Thank you for tuning in for another Blight Surgery, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. I will see you all on the next one. Bye bye.
In the void, where the warm winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Grave wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits.